Okay. Time to
Oh,
jazz. Time to jazz. Prove it. Why is my camera off? Let's see. Let's look into this. Is that better? Yeah, there we go.
what's up, man?
What's up, man? How
Yeah,
are you?
you went fancy pants. I got lazy and I'm just in my living room.
Oh man, I almost didn't get off the couch with the dog, but what does that prove about me? Other than the fact that I'm lazy and a slob.
Dude,
Whoa. Oh, send me your bank information. Oh, this part cannot go on the internet.
I gotta call him.
I
How
fucking
you doing, man? You look good.
Thank you, bro. I'm trying to untangle these cables that are restricting my movement here. Hold on. This will just take a second.
Sick setup.
Man, I wish the quality of wireless wasn't so shitty because I really hate dealing with wires sometimes. Okay. Dude. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
man. All
Here
right,
we
we're
are.
here. We got ZEPHYR here.
Let me
What's
get
up, bro? Good to see you.
this dumb step ladder out of the frame. We were still hanging things on the wall here.
Nice. I like your setup, man. It looks cool.
Thank you, bro.
Got the roads, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, my friend Drew Moore, he built this amazing keyboard stand. As you can see, it fits over the Rhodes, and then it has
Yeah, that's killing.
it has two tiers, and then it has brackets on the back. You can attach the additional tiers for the
Oh.
like you could just buy those top things. You just buy them.
Oh, I see.
They're like extensions for existing rack types, but
That's killing.
so he built it custom for me, and yeah, super happy.
Nice.
Not super portable, but yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, bro.
Good to see you. But we've been trying to do this for like 2 years now. It seems that Louis here has really triggered some people with his hot takes on jazz theory.
Dude, you know what's so funny is that never ever would I have thought that playing from relative minor and then saying it's the sixth chord would be so inflammatory. I mean, it's crazy, bro.
Because people, well, I think it's that age-old debate, like fixed dough or movable dough, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it kind of is. You're right. But yeah, I don't know. I love it though. I have so much fun with it. It's so fun for me.
Right, yeah. I mean, look, we have 12 notes in a scale, right? Like it just because C major and A minor are all both white notes, it's not suddenly C minor now because it also has all the white notes.
Mhm.
I mean, something has, something has to be fixed at some point.
Well, yeah, and the way I explain it to some of my drummer friends, because some of them like my friend Diego will be like, dude, I don't understand what the hell you guys are talking about. I was like, bro, literally, it's this simple. Ready? There's only one beat one. I'm like, you could do fills and you could and a four. Okay. It felt like one, but it's not one. It's and a four.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Although, I mean, I don't know. It depends who you're playing with, because some people feel one in a different place.
Right.
But
But you know what's funny is that and then you have the rhythmic conversation of well, when you start really playing layers of rhythms and if you start talking about Afro-Cuban stuff and the whole point is it's 4/3 and it never really fits, that's the whole
yeah,
point. That's the vibe. And
right.
it's and to me, that's how kind of the blues sounds. It's it doesn't really fit. It's technically not it's not, we're not just playing C major, we're also playing C minor, but we're kind of not. It's and there's this one of my videos I use this great Winton excerpt where he's I don't know, there's a million of these interviews, but he's talking about it and he has this minute long like rant where he's just like, it's this and this and it's major and minor. And I use it in my little video because that's kind of how I hear it. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, and he just breaks it up. He plays it real quick and it's like that simple. And he's like, and then you just mix them. And then he like plays bluesy, and it's like,
Oh, I gotta see that.
I'm like, that's what it is right there, dude. It obviously goes deeper, no, obviously, but like,
You can always go deeper, man. But
right.
like,
So that, but I love it, man. It's funny because you know what I tell everyone too. I'm like, guys, it's not even really my idea. Like, I'm like, literally, the gospel community has been doing this for the past 50 plus years.
no, I mean, look, some of the coldest motherfuckers are just going to town with that transpose button. And it's not that they couldn't move past it. It's that, some people, they come up the way I see it. Some people, they come up in like a smaller town, a smaller community, and they don't leave, but their church is super fucking lit and full of great music and great musicians. And in that context, I mean, it's diatonic music for the most part, besides a couple passing chords here and there. If you're lucky with a good gospel arrangement, there's a ton of sick passing chords actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, but they're just, the transpose button will get you there.
You know what's funny is I have when I need to start recording this stuff better because it just happens in the moment. But like, I'll be at my church gig and I have the little iRig thing, and you can plug into the P16 or whatever the hell. I'm sure anyways.
PCI.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like the line out, but I always forget and I forget the stupid adapter and so, but there's these moments in my church gig where we'll just have, I call them like no minor one, like in all natural, like in the wild.
How natural.
And like we'll be playing like the other day we were playing in F and we're just playing churchy, whatever, F major, playing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden we do some chord changes and I hear it coming and it's like, and they call it church. It's like, all right, he's on the mic. All right, make it churchy. And then that means AKA just start playing F minor. And then he says on the mic, Tejan's like, all right, I'm in A flat. And he's playing F minor.
Yeah.
And he's like, we haven't moved really, but like now he's thinking A flat. And I just look over at Omar and I'm like, no minor one, bro.
Well, I mean, no. Another au natural, no minor one moment is
I love it.
If you go on stage at a Zach Bryan show, I play bass for an artist.
Hey, dude, I can't wait to ask you. Good transition.
So you look at the set list and the keys are all major.
Oh, here it comes, baby. Zach.
Because
that's what I'm talking about.
Because the information that Zach and the other people playing guitar need is, where does the capo go?
Right.
So that's,
hey, capo, prove it.
Right. Capo, prove it. In fact, sometimes a song will be like C major capo 2. Like it'll say that.
Wow.
It was not even in C major.
Wow, that's a whole nother level.
Well, it's just like in the moment, what will cause the least amount of thinking.
Of course. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, it varies from song to song, just, based on experience of like, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think Louie might be onto something with this no minor one thing. I mean, I never championed this idea in the past. I never really thought about it. I guess I've thought about it implicitly.
Right.
But you can't say there's no case to be made. Dude, who is that man? You had this one jazz guitarist on here like a year ago, and he was so mad. He seemed so mad.
Eric. No, Eric's cool, bro. Shout out to Eric. He's cool.
He seemed like a great musician, but I was like,
he's very good.
He does not like the idea of no minor one.
Yeah, it's funny. He reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, let's I'll do the pod. Let's have it." I was like, "All right, dude, cruise it. Come to the house. Like, come hang."
Cruise it and prove it, you know?
So he's cool though. We some people just don't like it, man. And I think it's because I'm on to something. I think that's really what it is. And it's such a
You don't get the haters until you're succeeding.
it's like, and at the end though, really honestly, it's a 2 hour podcast and literally just go to the last 5-10 minutes because I don't remember what we were talking about, but I was asking him, I was like, so what do you call this? What do you call it? And then it's like I just kind of led him to like, yeah, it's 6 chord. And I was like, bro, what the isn't that what I've been saying the whole time?
Right.
But honestly, besides all that, shout out to Eric's the man. He's so good at guitar. He's great. You got to check him out. But you know what's I've been man, it's crazy. I've been really like into this. I just like the whole parallel motion. I feel like the blues is like really telling us the answer, but
Right.
like we kind of are overlooking that minor third relationship.
Well, it's interesting because it's like you could call something a minor blues,
Mhm.
but if it's not a minor blues, do you call it a major blues?
I mean, I guess we kind of do if you were to say, like, hey, let's play Mr. PC. It's like, okay, you're thinking minor blues, even though I think that's from the six. But then I say, let's play Tenor Madness, and you would know, like, oh, okay. I don't play
It's not a major, it's dominant.
right, but that's what we would call major, though, right? But it's not major. I mean,
Not
the third
major.
is major, I guess.
The third is major, but that's about all that's made. But the seventh is minor.
Oh, just prove it.
Oh fuck, bro. Well, I don't know. And then like this also raises the question like do keys like C flat exist? Is there such thing as a C flat?
Right, because you could just say B.
Yeah. But then
Okay, here I'll give you an argument where I used to stand on the side where like I didn't like how you would talk in separate keys. So that's a good example where like you're thinking C flat or B major, but then you say A flat minor.
yeah,
Okay, so I used to be not a fan of that, but now I'm flipping sides.
I'm in favor of flat keys over sharp keys generally.
Right, okay. I think it depends on
I think because flat's moving forth and so does the bass.
right, right.
So yeah, I mean, this is a very nerdy topic, but I remember like
I love it.
I would try to like write charts that would use inharmonic notes to stay true to like the key center,
Mm-hmm.
major or minor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, there's no such thing as a minor key center, so the major key center. Um, sorry, I just every
I
time
love it. Dude,
see
just
you in a
push, hey,
fucking-
poke the bear, dude. That's all I do.
every time I see you pop up in the comment section, I'm just like, oh god. And it's the most random places too. Anyway, I try to stay true to a key center, right? But like sometimes I'd have people just be like, I respect what you're trying to do with this chart, but like sometimes that like classical shit is just whack.
Yeah,
Like just fucking write it in the one with less accidentals
right.
after a point.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of, and I kind of learned this from the gospel guys because like I had a friend of mine call me and was like leaving me a no minor one voice memo or whatever, and I posted it, and like people got. I knew they were gonna get him on this because he was talking about a scale and he mixed up sharps and flats. Like he said the right notes. He just called one a
So there's
flat.
a lot of inharmonic seconds and
Yeah,
diminished.
yeah, and
words.
like, and
Yeah.
I knew people were gonna like get on him for it, even though they know nothing about this guy and how much of a genius he is on piano, and like he'll just completely play circles around whoever's saying this. But like, I was just like, I started thinking, and I was like, man, I used to really be on that camp where it's like, oh, he just said the notes wrong. You know what I mean?
No, my dad. So like, my dad's a bass player too, up in the Northern California. Oh shit. He and at one point, right after I dropped my first solo album in 2017, my dad he had like a combo. He would, you know, I hate that I called it a combo, but I just don't remember how many people were in it. It was like quartet or quintet, maybe a sextet, and they would just get together for fun and play every week, like
Mm.
in the afternoon. And he said that like he brought in some of my charts, and one of the guys who kind of unofficially ran the show was kind of irritated that my dad had thrown his hat into the ring for choosing a tune or whatever.
Uh,
So he gave him one of my tunes, and apparently the guy just completely derailed the rehearsal, obsessing over why I put like a I don't know. It was like I put a D sharp in a chord in a flat chord or something
uh,
like that.
yeah.
Or no, I like it. Yeah, it was like E flat, but E flat was the chord, but D sharp was written in the melody or
Right,
something.
right. Okay.
And like this guy just couldn't get over. It's like, why would he do that? Why would he do that? It's like, can't you just read the fucking chart, dude? Like
Yeah.
he probably was just like using the arrow key in finale. You know, I that's probably what happened. I probably
Yeah,
was
and at the end of the day,
finale and I got to the right note and went on.
right.
You know,
And at the end of the day, it sounds the same.
I did learn to double check those things. But um look, I mean, we've all been there. We've all been to the point where we bang out a chart just like through brute force the first few years of using a notation program, and then
Mhm.
eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh fuck, these charts were all garbage. I should have just written them by hand.
That's hilarious.
But I mean, it's easy enough to clean up a chart when you know how to use the technology.
Hey, so you gotta tell me, man, I just remember seeing one day Zephyr's playing with Zach Bryan. Is that his name?
Zach Bryan, yeah.
Yeah, and then like I only know that name just because I just see him around. I don't know. And I was like, what the hell? And I like looked it up. I was like, dude, hell yeah, Zephyr's killing it.
There were a bunch of billboards up last year, so a lot of people were sending me pictures of of the billboard, being like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." There's like an illustrated version of my face on there, and I don't know. I mean, it was very very generous of him to put us all on the poster. I enjoyed that.
So
Um,
what's it like? Like, what's that gig like? Tell me about it.
Man, there's where to begin. It all sort of started as just a one-off thing as far as I was involved,
Okay.
and it was just Zach and a couple of his friends, Graham Bright on guitar, Lucas Rugi Jones on fiddle, and my friend Amir hit me up asking if I knew anybody who played cajon, and I was like, "Bro, you're a drummer. Like, I'm just gonna give you drummer phone numbers."
Mm.
I'm like, and why don't you just play? Like,
Right.
I didn't realize at the time he was sort of stepping away from playing in bands as a musician and getting more into the management side of things, which
Mm.
to this day is more what he's involved with. Although Amir Usman, he's a really really great drummer. If you check him out on any medium that has videos, you'll find his stuff, and he's incredible talent. We went to college together.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So he sort of like he played drums. He was like, you know what, I will play drums. Why don't you play bass with this? Like he's like a songwriter, sort of in the country vein, sort of in the Americana vein.
Mm.
But you can't really if you call something country, then people think like radio country.
Right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought of too. Whenever someone says that.
It's just not it's not moonshine flats.
Right.
What we're doing.
Right.
We've shared bills with people who are more in that vein, for sure. But that's not Zach's vibe. I'd say Zach's vibe is closer to well, at this point, like really knowing Zach a few years, like I now know he's into artists, like he's into like indie music,
Mm.
like an indie like he loves the Killers for
Okay.
example, you know. Um, it's not, like country is just, he's from Oklahoma, so
Right.
that's a part of his musical upbringing, a big part of it. But
Yeah.
it's not limited to that for him
He's
at all.
not just into that. Yeah, for sure.
No, no, not at all. Um, he's even into like, I don't know, not screamo, but like kind of like emo, like sad acoustic music too.
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess
Sick.
yeah. No, it's all over the map. He loves like Radiohead as well. Um, High and Dry. It's a song he really likes
Mm.
by Radiohead. Um, but anyway, yeah, you can't categorize him as country, nor does, I mean, I think, nor do many artists want to be categorized just as one genre, but
Right.
that's the industry we work in. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked
But
on
I
that.
will say real quick, I do feel like the term for country is changing.
Yeah, yeah. It is. And maybe we have something to do with that.
I think
Maybe,
it's cool. Yeah.
maybe, maybe some of the other Oklahoma bands that Zach and the boys came up listening to, like the Turnpike Troubadours, for instance. Is a
Okay.
big one. Um, yeah, maybe they had something to do with that too. You know, I would say I'm relatively new to the country world myself. Everybody, you know me as a jazz boy. I mean, we came up doing jazz gigs together,
Mhm.
and also kind of a Latin jazz gig when we went to Mexico that one time. What was
Yeah.
that guy's name? What was that drummer's name?
Matt,
No, 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 not Matt.
wait, where did we go? Remind me.
We went to Mexico. Remember, we went to Tijuana, and Jesse was on sax.
Yeah. And who was playing
And
drums?
Bill Caballero was on trumpet.
Uh-huh.
His name was Carlos, I think. Ah, no, no. What was that guy's name? It was his thing. He got this like government grant.
Oh, Charlie Chavez?
Charlie Chavez, not Carlos. Jeez, Charlie Chavez.
No,
Yeah,
I do remember now. It's coming back.
yeah. And we were playing like phase dance to these like amphitheaters in Mexico. It was awesome. Uh,
That's about right.
dude. Well, anyway, yeah. Most people know me as a jazz boy. I'm relatively new to the country scene, so I mean, I don't know who I am to say the reason why it's changing. I just I've just sort of been around for it the last 4 years, and it's cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend says, you want to play with this kind of country songwriter guy? I said, yeah, sure, bet. Let's do it. It's the middle of COVID, and I need any gig
Right.
that I can get, and this one sounds pretty cool. Show up, do the gig. It's sold out. It was really awesome.
And how did the gig before you go on, like, did he just send you songs? Like, how are you learning this stuff? You just show up?
Yeah, no, so yeah, we kind of got sent a list of songs, and then he sent me like a playlist. Um, yeah, I was sent like a playlist, and then he would also send to a group chat like just videos of him sort of like explaining the songs, and
Cool.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he's down to like talk through these things, and
Yeah.
then we got to the rehearsal, and we just sort of like played through them, and ready or not, here we come type of thing.
Cool.
And I mean, the show was very well received.
Yeah.
And then we got hit up to do like 3 more festivals. Um, and we're doing these like early opening slots that other people had backed out of.
Huh.
And we were at the small stage. I remember being at this festival in Kentucky, and we're playing this stage called the Burl stage, which is sort of the smaller up and coming artist stage at what the heck is the name of that festival? It'll come to me. Oh man, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Kentucky, where were you?
Yeah, in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
Oh man, I can't think of the name of that festival. It's gonna drive me nuts. But anyway, yeah, we're at this festival in Kentucky, and I mean, yeah, we had a way bigger crowd than the bigger stage at the same time, and I was like, oh shit, like we're onto something here. This is
Right.
crazy. And then yeah, after that, a small tour got booked because I think the agent or whoever was booking us on those festivals saw things were working out.
Right.
And they're like, okay, yeah, the tour would definitely sell out and be profitable. And then the next year, it was just more touring, a lot more headline shows, but then also some opening slots. Like we were opening stadiums for Luke Combs, who's an artist you probably would hear play a place like Moonshine Flats.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I met the bassist in their band, Matt Maxwell. He's a really great, nice guy. We sometimes have lunch still.
Sick.
Dude. And their drummer as well was pretty cool, as I recall when I met him. And our steel player, Reed, he befriended the steel player in their band as well. So, nice guys in that band.
Cool.
Yeah, we also did a lot of opening slots for Willie Nelson's Outlaw Country Fest.
Big deal, dude.
So I got to watch Willie Nelson front row like 8 times, and that was just so cool, man.
Wow. That's music history right there, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, he can still prove it. You know what I'm saying? And like some of his tunes are like straight up jazz ballads.
Yeah, bro, they are.
Like straight up.
Yeah, like for real.
Yeah. Like I would call crazy on a jazz gig if I thought people were going to know it.
Dude, that's tight.
He also excuse me. He also plays tunes like Georgia on My Mind.
Yeah.
To this day.
Cool, man.
And he's got his son there.
I mean, it's all cut from the same cloth, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, and
sick, dude. That's
church, you get the transpose button, and in folk and country, you get the capo, right? Mm-hmm. In jazz, you get practice it in all 12 keys.
Basically the same thing.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah. I can play in all 12 keys. Give me a capo.
I mean, it sounds the same.
Dude, what if you showed up to like New York, you're like Smalls, and they're like, Donnelly and E.
Bro, that would be the funniest video to watch. Like, can I please go do that?
8th or 9th fret or something.
Bro, I'm just going to wear my Jazz Prove It No Minor 1 shirt, and I'm going to be the guy in Smalls with my capo for Donnelly and E.
Oh, they would eat you alive. Did you see that viral video of the guy? There was this drummer, and I mean, to be fair, like he was kind of folding that night. It might have been like a stage fright. Someone who was recently out of college, kind of getting stage fright on the spot and sort of folding on the gig. But maybe in a situation where he's more comfortable, maybe he wasn't such a bad player, type of a thing. But he was folding pretty bad, and somebody
like someone come up or something.
Dude, he ripped the drumsticks out of the guy's hand, and he's like, get the fuck off the drums. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And jazz memes like posted it. And then there was a bunch of controversy in their comments, and some people were like, yeah, that's fucking right. Like, you don't fucking come to New York unless you come correct. And then other people were like, this is not appropriate to
Bro, the internet is insane, dude.
The internet is like, oh my God, dude. Like,
I don't know, bro. I don't know how these people have time to just be online arguing. I'm just like, bro, these guys must be just chilling all day because, like, I can't keep up with it.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, I think they get so mad they're like on the edge of their seats, just gnashing their teeth, like trying to win the argument because it's like its own type of performance. And, you gotta. Some people really are in like jazz as like a competitive sport.
Right. It's like, well, the whole time you said that, all I kept thinking about was like surfers at like a local spot and just like locals going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, I went to college at UC Santa Cruz. I'd take my longboard, 9-foot longboard out to 26th or 25th in Capitola to surf. And there were times where it was chill, and there'd be other times.
Yeah.
These are like 2 to 4 foot waves. It's nothing crazy.
Triple ankle high.
And some guy would paddle up to me and be like, this is really not a longboard spot, man. And I'm like, dude, I'm not at Steamer's Lane. Like, am I supposed to just go to Cowell's Beach for the rest of my life and call it a day? That's like half a foot to 1 foot waves. Great beginner spot because there's like a sandbar and you can push off with your feet.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god.
but yeah, up out in Capitola, it's like there's plenty of space, plenty of like just huge break.
Mhm.
Great play. That became my favorite place to surf. But I gotta say, like in the Bay Area, it was a lot more chill surfing. I would go out to Bolinas, which is kind of a sharky beach, but
Oh god.
yeah, that shit's scary. But it doesn't happen that much, so I don't know. But yeah, I just sort of got over it because I was just like, I'm just trying to like exercise and relax, not feel like someone's gonna slash my tires and
Yeah. Break your board. So yeah.
like I don't think I'm stealing anybody's waves. I don't like. It seemed like just it's sometimes just being there at all was too much for people.
Mhm.
Like somebody they didn't want to be there being there was too much for them. And yeah, and it's the same. Yeah, it's a similar vibe with
The
Jag.
thing is like, I guess I can kind of understand both sides a little bit.
I mean, you have to. It's your responsibility if you're going to weigh in on something. You have to try and understand both sides.
Yeah, it's like
Whether you
I,
think
you know,
something's wrong. Like you like, and I can respect that. Like some people have made their entire life about this music, right? You can't. If that's what it's all about for them and somebody else just sort of treats it like an afterthought, that feels like a huge disrespect,
Mhm.
you know? And even if some of these establishments where jazz jams happen are like public places, I mean, to them, it's like it's like their church.
Yeah, it's a sacred.
So I understand. I do.
Yeah.
I just
Hey,
don't.
but you know what's funny though? And I tell my students, I'm like, guys, whenever they get discouraged or they're like scared to go to a jam because they don't want to crash and burn, or they just don't think they can do it, or anything, whatever it is, I'm like, guys, don't forget, jazz folklore starts with what? What does it start with? What's the jazz? Just think of jazz folklore. What does the beginning of it start with?
The blues.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, think of what incident happens.
I probably am familiar with what you're talking
You're
about.
gonna know why when I say it. But think about the Charlie Parker moment, right? Where he goes to a jam session supposedly, and like,
And Max Roach throws a cymbal at him.
yeah, or I don't think it was Max Roach, but it was
Oh,
one. Who was it? It was
wasn't
one of the guys. I don't remember. I should know this, but they throw a cymbal at him, right?
was it Kenny? It wasn't Kenny Clark.
I don't know. We should know this.
I thought it was Max Roach, but
Anyway, story is they throw the cymbal at him, right?
who threw a cymbal?
Oh yeah. Ask
Charlie Parker. Ask the AI.
ask the AI.
God, I'm so canceled. Oh, it was Philly Joe Jones.
I was right. Yes.
I'm dumb.
Hey, you know what though, bro? I've been rocking you know what AI really works well for, at least for me, ChatGPT or the Grok or whatever the hell, fill in the blank. I use it for software.
Software.
Yeah,
Oh, just like, how do I do this?
like bro, I've become somewhat capable on Premiere because of it.
Oh, that's a great idea, bro.
Bro, instead of searching on YouTube for the right video, for the right command, for the right 20 seconds in the 30-minute video,
God. Yeah,
like
it
you're
can
just
save you a lot of time, but
you're
you
just
have
like, how do I whatever it is in Pro Tools? How do I whatever it is in my guitar pedal?
you have to correct it.
But the thing is when you use it like that, you can test it immediately. And if it doesn't work, you're like, nah, that didn't work. Do it. That didn't work. You like do something else or any. I don't know, man. I found certain I found this glitch inside of Premiere. That's not really a glitch, but they should make it better. It's kind of hard to explain, but when you nest the images and then you're like lining up the audio and blah blah blah, there's a way where I haven't found a way. If anyone knows, tell me that you have like when you drag in the clips and then you go to synchronize them all, you have to drag them in individually, and there's no way to just drag them all in,
Yeah,
to make them all separate tracks, you can only drag them in and they'll be all on one track,
It's
which is
very frustrating when you try to do things that are easy in a
yeah,
DAW, such
yeah.
as Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools, and it's like a foreign fucking language what you're trying to do with the audio in the video. Like, gee, why does there have to be space filled on every part of the video timeline? Like, what if you don't have video to sync up with 20 seconds of audio?
Hmm.
Why can't you then put a video clip where it resumes syncing with the audio and just have that blank space equate to a blank screen? No, you have to figure out exactly how much time that blank space needs to be and create an instance of a black screen there.
Oh, right,
It
right.
won't just do it for you.
Hmm.
To me, that's just like, I don't think I'm going to be a video editing guy, man. It's not for me. I can do the audio stuff. I can mix, I can edit, but oh man, the video
Well,
stuff.
dude, I've been using it, and even like everyone at school is like telling their students not to use AI, blah, blah, don't use ChatGPT. And I'm like, guys, honestly, you should use it because in Pro Tools, it works really well.
Use it to learn. Don't use it to cheat.
No, yeah, exactly. But like like I teach this Pro Tools class where I'm like, guys, just ask it for like all the answers will tell you. And I told this older lady, and she couldn't believe it. And she starts using it, and now she uses it all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the way, it's like,
It's really helped her.
I'm not going to say who this is, but yeah, it's an extended family member who was an elderly person used to post Facebook statuses as if it were a Google search bar, and it's like, oh, that's not what that does. Well, now they finally have that, right? Now it will do what they want.
Right. Right.
I mean, you can't go, you can't do a Google search without it now. Or, I mean, I don't use Google Chrome browser because I think that they're using my data in ways that I don't understand.
Oh, they probably are, dude.
So I use a browser called Brave browser, which
That's what I use, dude.
fucking prove it, dude.
Yes, prove it.
Yeah, that once the guy went on Joe Rogan, he sold me on why it was better than DuckDuckGo,
Right.
and I switched to that. I'm not an avid Rogan listener or anything, but
All right, dude. Don't be scared. They're not going to
was
cancel
at one point. I was at one point. I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean, Rogan got me through COVID.
Oh man, you're cracking me up.
Cracking me up, dude.
Oh god,
You're cracking me up.
All dude.
Do.
No one's gonna know what the hell we're talking about.
I'm not. I don't think he's watching the podcast. But if he
He will. Dude, what up? I'm gonna call you.
do, I fucking miss you.
I know. We gotta get that guy out here.
We gotta go down to Mexico City and visit,
Yeah, we should. That would be fun.
do some gigs. Send me those charts.
Hey, you know,
Check the Dropbox.
hey, check the job. That's never gonna get old. Oh god, like really, it's never.
What a time in my life. Sometimes I like go on YouTube and look at my old YouTube videos, and I just find this video of me, Tim Fig, Chris, and Adrian playing at the Studio Door Gallery.
Sick.
And we're just blasting away in there in this like completely untreated room,
That's tight.
and we had a captive audience. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I seen you.
And I didn't even come close to finishing the story of my involvement with the band. So
Wait, let's do that then. Keep going because I'll remember this other one.
yeah, so
You're on the up and up.
yeah. So that second year, 2022, we're doing all these opening slots. We're still doing plenty of headline slots. Our shows are getting bigger. We're no longer in like 1,500 cap rooms, but we're more in like 5,000 to 6,000 cap. And
Sick.
Zach's starting to get all the offers for the TV slots. He didn't do them. I think just didn't feel like that was the route he wanted to go with it, which I can respect because clearly it didn't
Working, yeah.
it didn't stop him, right?
Right.
So, but it was that phase in an artist's career where they're finally like, yeah, they're right about to really be in the mainstream, right? And then 2023, there was like no more non-headline festival slots, no more. Oh, by the way, that Kentucky festival is called Railbird.
There we go.
Good festival. I saw Khruangbin there. I saw Weezer there. Okay, but yeah. So there's there's a point where you don't have to do the stuff anymore. You don't have to pay dues the same way anymore once you pass that point. And we're
Right.
just at that point, just headlining hockey arenas, basketball arenas, the small to medium sized arenas, like 9 to 15,000. No, 9 to like 30,000.
Sick.
And then 2024, it was like the big size. We did some of the same arenas because we were an AEG tour, not a Live Nation tour. So in certain cities, like the arena's an AEG venue and the stadium's a Live Nation venue. So instead of doing the Live Nation venue, which is a different promoter than we have, we would do the one that is owned by our promoter. And then we just do like 2 or 3 nights instead of one stadium night. But in the summer, we did a whole bunch of stadiums as well. And that was just a crazy experience.
I know. I saw videos and shit, dude.
I always wanted to do it, but
You're like over here just like,
I didn't think in 2021 when I got that call to go play
right.
It was a benefit show for veterans that Zach and Christian McCaffrey, the football player, had gotten together to
like
put on a show and Zach donated everything to 22 and Troops, which is this charity that is about veteran suicides and helping the families of veterans and stuff like that who have committed suicide. So yeah, it's an awareness.
Yeah, with a lot of people too.
Oh, it's
crazy. Most people don't.
It's devastating when you look.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, bro.
Yeah,
like it's really sad.
We need to treat our troops better, man.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so I did not think that was going to be the phone call that,
right.
I did not think that was going to be the first domino that led to me playing stadium.
Like so unassuming.
There I fucking was. And yeah, I would have, you do the day to day enough, like you do it for a couple of years, like it does get pretty normal and you'll go home and people will be asking you all these questions about it. And you're annoyed to be talking about it because it's like, it's just what I fucking do every day. I don't know. But like, you have to remember, like, these people don't understand that. And to them, this is a fucking crazy thing. It's just normal to you because you've been doing it, 3 times a week for a year and a half,
Yeah.
And so, but like at some points I would just be in the middle of the show and I would just like, you have those existential moments where you look around and you're like, holy fuck, like this is really me in the driver's seat and I really am in this situation right now. It's actually fucking surreal.
Right. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's tight. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, no.
So what's it like playing with those guys, like musically? It must be fun.
Yeah, it's cool. We kind of just, for the first like year, we barely rehearsed at all. We just sort of like get things together in the moment. You remember like the Johnny Cash movie where he's just like, he's in the recording booth and they have him playing all these like Jesus songs.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? We're going to try something else. I think my boys are going to get it. And he just starts playing.
Yeah.
And like
it's kind of that.
That was the approach we took to learning new songs. They would just do it in sound check, and then, we'd play it in the show. And if something got fucked up, Zach would just go up to the mic and be like, "Oh, butchered it. Sorry. Try not to boo us off stage." And we started over again, and everyone was
They probably love it.
all the merrier. It's like I was like, "Holy fuck, man! Like
You could
we
do it.
we can do no wrong here." Like
That's funny.
it's just not really what I thought it would look like.
Right.
I was younger, hoping that I would get to this level one day. It's just not what I thought it would look like. But will you ever know what it looks like? I mean, I'm sure in another camp that is not. I can say for sure.
It's not. Yeah. It depends. I mean, it's all different. Yeah.
You like wear the wrong shirt or look the wrong direction. In other camps, you're
toast.
aisle or window, right? You know.
It's crazy because it's so true. I could totally see that. Like that would not surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
In some worlds, and then in other worlds, it's like you guys are just figuring it out on stage. But that's tight, dude. You found the right world.
I guess so. I mean,
And honestly, your timing, the timing for
right place at the right time.
well, that not only that, but just for him alone is just like I feel like country's like really in right now,
It is.
and
But
just
you can't chase the thing that's in right now.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not like he's just doing it because it's in. It's just like that's just who he is, and
He would just he would just like he was in the Navy, and I would talk to like former, like his commanding officers would come to one of his commanding officers came to like our show in Houston, and I was just
oh wow, that's cool.
I was just hanging with this guy in the green room, just one on one for like half an hour one night, and we were just talking. And he was like, "Yeah, we'd be driving around doing jobs on a forklift, and Zach would just keep humming this song over and over again, and he'd be like, dude, like, why the fuck do you keep humming that song?" And Zach's like, "Well, I can't have my phone. Like, I have nothing to write it down with. If I stop humming it, I'll forget the song."
Forget it.
And like over the years, that is sort of how I've seen him like workshop songs. He'll just play it over and over until it's like really solidified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's old school. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
But I mean, that's what I don't know. When I was really young, I would get a tape recorder and I'd have my little classical guitar, and I would write punk songs, and like that was fun. I don't know why I stopped doing that, but I think I got self-conscious or something. But yeah.
So what's something like that you've learned like musically from those guys? That's maybe not even like, oh, they play B on whatever. Like, I don't know. Just like it could be anything really. Because I feel like their approach is I like it because it's more like, I don't know, it's just more I feel like for us, and I don't want to sound like this is a bad thing because I think it is cool how you can go and study jazz and be really nerdy and whatever. But I also think that like there is the jazz police are real, and it's like the minute you say no minor one, people freak out.
I think that it's not so much what I've learned as just what I had a feeling about from other experiences that has really been solidified by this one, right?
Okay.
That is that like trust goes a long way, right? Like if there's enough people on stage that trust each other, then one person can maybe not be completely sure themselves in that moment and still like trust that enough other people will carry things where it needs to be that they can get their bearing again.
I see.
And I don't know, it's just like it doesn't matter if people are like the most killing musician in the world. If a band has that kind of trust, like people will find their role, they will find their parts, and the band will sound fucking good together.
The magic will happen, yeah.
And that's the magic of bands, right? We're now in this artist era
where there's no bands.
There's no fucking bands anymore. Nobody wants to be in a band. They want it to be, oh, this is my thing. This is my project, and I hire the best musicians to back me up because I'm the best. Even though it is Zach's band and he is the artist, but like the way we function, it is still like a band.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
cool.
I get you. It
Yeah.
seems like that from the outside looking in, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I only say that because you know, like on the billboard it says Zach Bryan, but like I don't know, like I think of us as a band, like in
I
the
get you.
capacity of how we play together, right?
Right,
We're sharing those moments on stage and having a great time as we would if we were a band.
right. I get you.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. So what are the plans for like this year?
We have a variety of shows lined up. No tour, but just like 13 dates. We're playing in June. We just did Stagecoach, obviously. Um,
Sick.
and then in June, we're going to UK to rehearse for like a week and a half. And then we're going to go to Dublin and play Stadium there. And then we're going to go play Hyde Park in London. Come back. Then in July, we've got MetLife Stadium. I think 2 or 3 nights there
Sick.
in Jersey. So that's going to be epic. And then in August, we're playing in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And I think also Marshall University in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. At some point later in the summer, yeah, we're playing like Marshall University. We're playing University of Michigan, which is be a stadium show in the round. It'll be the most ticketed show in history in North America.
Sick.
Yeah, so like 115,000, I think.
Hey, what's it like going to see all these different spots in the US?
Um, there's a couple that I am partial to. I've really found myself enjoying like, I mean, this is no secret to me because I'd already been to Michigan in the summer, but like the states like, yeah, Minnesota and Wisconsin in the summer are just so fucking nice.
Yeah.
So it's just so fucking like not too hot, not too cold, not, just sunny, perfect like lake weather.
Mm.
And also places like Montana. I love to spend time up there. Um, Obviously, as far as cities go, like I'd say New York and LA are still up there for me, but
Right.
I'm always down to go to like spend some time in Austin or Nashville or even Fort Worth is cool. I'm sure I'm leaving some places out. I, for the most part, can find a way to have a good time pretty much anywhere I am, I
What
guess.
about like is it much different? It must be cool to see like the different like culture in not the West or East Coast of big cities, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. It depending on my schedule and how many days free, I either do or don't absorb a lot of the culture.
Right.
But yeah, um, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to spend time in a city like Philadelphia and see how that northeastern city is different from a city like New York.
Right.
Just as it's interesting to see how a city like Dublin, Ireland, is different from a city like London. I mean,
Right.
like Dublin still feels like, I mean, it's certainly a major world city, but like it still feels like more of like in a way, you can still see the history from back when it was like more of a village type oriented environment.
Right. Right. I see what you're saying.
Where you go to London, I mean, that's a major city.
Right.
Full stop, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, there was a long time where I felt like, how can I call myself an American if I've like spent most of my life in one state?
Right.
I guess I'm not alone in that. Like a lot of people have. But yeah, I'd mostly spent my life in Oregon and California.
Right. Hey,
But
you know what you were posting some stuff too that I was really into. You were talking about like a lot of financial stuff.
yes, okay, yeah, that's you wanna open that Pandora's
Hey,
box.
bro, I hope you're ready.
Well, all I would say is that I think everybody should have an emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. And once they pay off their credit cards,
Right.
They should start that emergency fund. And once they have that emergency fund, they should start a Roth IRA,
Mm.
right? And they should contribute the maximum every year to their Roth IRA, which is currently $7,000. And once you put money in that Roth IRA, you should invest it in a target date fund, which is something that essentially functions like an index fund that reallocates and rebalances your portfolio for you as you get closer to the retirement age you select, so that you don't have to worry about it. It's just a foolproof way to invest. Set it and forget it. Put your money.
And you're investing in like basically the S&P, just like top companies.
Yeah, but it doesn't just invest in domestic markets. It also put your money in international market, and also, bond. There's like bond funds as well. And that's, I think that's like the most responsible way. If you, for some reason, make too much to qualify for a Roth IRA, you can do a traditional IRA, which is, instead of you put the money in, so Roth, you put the money in post-tax, but then it's tax-free at retirement.
Right.
And if you withdraw before retirement, there's a steep penalty. But what people don't understand is that that penalty is only on money that exceeds the total amount of contributions you have.
Oh, I see.
So all of your principal is free up to the total. Let's say you contributed for 3 years. You have $21,000 of money you can withdraw before you'd get any penalty.
I get you.
So it's not like that money's gone and you can never.
Right. You still have the money you put in.
Emergency. Yeah. Therefore, but that said, I mean, your emergency fund should be a separate Roth IRA. Your emergency fund should be in a high yield savings account. Capital One has a great one.
How much you get on it?
That one right now, I mean, it's always moving, and you shouldn't necessarily chase rates.
Right. I'm just curious.
But it's 3.8.
Okay.
And then I have another account within something called Betterment, which offers a robo advising service I use to take advantage of things like tax loss harvesting. In that account, I mean, I have like an investment account in there, and then I also have like a savings account in there, and that one's at 4%. But Betterment, their business model is kind of interesting because they put your money in, they have your money in a bunch of different banks, and you can like look at what all of them are and all the respective interest rates are, and how they make it work out so they can give you, right now it's 4%, but all those those are all variable unless you put your money in like a CD or a treasury bill, like then you can lock in a rate for a specific term. But that's the trade-off, right? It's like, then you don't have access to that money without a penalty until that matures.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I mean, I love everything you're saying, dude, because this is the kind of shit that they don't tell you in school at all.
Certainly.
Which is just fucking insane.
They tried in my high school. Like, we did have an economics class, and they did try to teach us about the stock market. And
I'm not even talking high school, though. I mean, like in college.
No, they're not talking about that in college unless you elect to take the course.
Right? It's just funny because, especially as jazz musicians or just musicians, whatever, it's like you're already in this category of like, in the zeitgeist, you're already thinking like, oh yeah, I'm not going to make much. It's like, that's like, you already know that going in. So it's like you would think you'd be like hyper aware of your money even more so, because you're spending all this time and energy and you're not getting as much back. And it's like, you should be able to store it really well. And it's just like, but you ask the average it's like, no one knows. And it's just sad.
But okay, like what I would tell a 20-year-old musician is like, okay, do you get at least one $75 gig per week?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Take money from that $75 gig every week.
I agree.
That money. And by the time you're 40, that will be, if you start when you're 20, by the time you're 40, if you invest that simply in index funds, that money will be worth like $1.8 million or something. Like, I don't know the exact.
No, I know what you mean. The point is it's worth a lot.
If you plug this into, if you play around with an investment
No,
calculator,
I know it's very simple.
Just Google investment calculator, you can plug the numbers in and you can see what the growth is, and you
Right.
can decide what
I
percentage
mean,
you consume,
that's
all that
the
stuff.
famous quote. The Einstein thing is like, didn't he say like compound interest or what's the quote? It's
Yeah, no,
like,
there are two things in the world that I don't believe in magic or something, except in the case of compound interest. It was something like that.
yeah, it's like, yeah, anyways. Okay. So I totally agree with what you're saying, but like, and I know this is so taboo, but I don't give a fuck.
Let's go. Get me
Have,
canceled.
what?
Yeah, let's get me canceled. Just kidding. I don't want
No,
to.
no, I'm just thinking in terms
Uh,
of all this financial stuff, like everything you're saying is 100% real and true. But it's
yeah.
like when you really get down even deeper, it's like, okay, well, how do you save your time and energy? And, most of us are saving it in dollars, right? You're saving it
Right.
in. And yeah, if you take the next
Time
step.
is all. Your time is really all you have at the end of the day.
Right. And so like what you're saying is invest this time and energy so you can recoup more and it's, and then that's all real, but like when you talk about like how most of us are saving money, whether you're saving it in assets or not, it's like a lot of it is tied to this fiat dollar. Now, like have you gone down this Bitcoin rabbit hole at all?
Yeah, I mean, I bought a little bit in like 2017, and if I were fucking smart, I would have just forgotten about it. But no, I had to
You
get
sold
into
it.
the whole shitcoin hype.
Oh, Jesus.
And then if I were smart that time, I would have left it there. But then no, I had to sell it again. And then in the process of trying to transfer the fucking cash back into my Coinbase account so I could transfer it back into my bank account because I was using some weird wallet that I forgot about it. It got banned in the US because they wouldn't report to tax to the
Uh,
IRS. And so like, two wallets I had used, Qcoin and Binance, both got illegal in the US. And
so you were keeping them on the exchanges.
yeah, I was.
God
I
damn it, Zephyr.
didn't have that much. I did not have that much in there. It was like a few $100.
Okay. Yeah, but you're ahead of most people.
If I had left it in, if I had left it in Bitcoin, it would have been worth thousands. I mean, probably like 3 or 4 thousand, but still,
No,
like,
it's significant more than what you put in.
yeah, I know, like, because I put in like $275 maybe, or
Right.
$375 initially, and then like I put it into the shit coins like an idiot, and it just sat there like, just $120 total, and then around the time of the election last year, it went back up to like a little more than I had initially invested. It was all worth about 400. I'm like, cool, I'll recoup my investment and put it back into my stocks like everything
Right.
else. And I like chose the wrong network when I was sending
Damn
it
it.
to Coinbase,
Yeah.
and half of that money's just fucking.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah. See, that's the turn off for some people, but like,
This is why it's not safe, Louis.
well, the thing is
Because
you have to know what you're
not
doing.
user friendly. It's
What?
not user friendly. It's not user friendly. Like,
I think it is, but okay.
okay, sure. If you're savvy, it's fine.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
There was no fucking safeguard. Like, there should have been a warning that said, "Are you sure that your wallet accepts this network?
Right. Because if you send it the wrong
If
net,
you
yeah,
send it, it's gone forever." There was nothing. It was just no condom. Just boom. Oh, and it's gone. I'm sorry, but what good is a fucking investment if all your money can disappear at the fucking drop of a mouse click? So no, I don't fuck with that shit. And
Oh God,
I'm not saying that nobody should, and I could see myself actually like at some point maybe diversifying like less than 5% of my investments to
that's
be.
fine. Yeah. I think my main point here is that this is just my opinion, but I feel like we're on the cusp of a new era in the financial world.
Yeah, no, you could very well be right.
And
Sure.
I think that the internet has come for everything, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's literally come after every sector, and one of the last sectors it's coming after, and I think it's coming after the financial sector.
Huh. Yeah.
and it's real. I mean, I watch some of these interviews of these people who are not nobodies, and the conversations they're having are very interesting.
Well, send me some of those interviews. I'd be happy to watch them.
I mean, bro, I'll send you a whole fucking playlist. I hope you're ready.
Yeah. But I'm not opposed to the idea of having some of my holdings in crypto, and I think now
Well, but I'm careful when you say crypto though, because I don't really think that. I think 90% of those are trash.
I agree, but okay, like the big ones like ETH and Bitcoin, like what's
Honestly,
the
I don't even know if
new one?
I don't even know if ETH's really. I don't know as much about Ethereum, but I do think smart contracts are going to be a thing. But the problem is that there's other layers that
What's that new one that's like a new standard cryptocurrency, Rosetta or something like that? Rosanna?
honestly, man, I don't know. I try and keep tabs on this shit, but there's literally, I think there at this point there's millions of different tokens, which is so stupid.
Yeah, fucking Titcoin and Fartcoin. And
Yeah, I mean there really is. I guess my point is like when you understand some of the like some people like do you know what the inflation rate has been the past however long and how much the stock market has gone up in the same time?
it definitely diminishes the meaning
Bro, it's literally the same line.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Which is crazy because it's like if what
Which
you're
is all the
saying,
more reason you have to be invested in the stock market to not
it,
lose money to inflation.
okay, so you said it exactly. So what you're saying is just to stay at zero, like not to be negative. If you have $100,000 and you just hold on to it, inflation's going to drive it down. You may not see it, but that's what's happening.
This is exactly right. So like investing is available to everyone. People might say, I have no money to invest. Okay, well, look, maybe that's true, but I think if we really took a magnifying glass to your
Yeah.
bank statements, I'd see you spending your money on things that you have no business spending them on. If what you're saying is true, so I'm just saying, have discretionary spending.
Yeah, I agree.
I believe that a larger amount of your money should go to discretionary spending than investing.
Mhm.
I do believe that.
Okay.
However, like, I mean, like one book I read, the model they laid out was something like, I don't know, like 55 to 60% should cover your necessities. And then,
Right.
like 20 to 30%, 20 to 35% should cover what, fun stuff, whatever you want, whether that's saving for a vacation, going out to restaurants or,
Yeah.
going, I don't know, recreational activities, going to Disneyland or something. Uh, and then, but 10 to 15% should be investment savings.
It tripped me out though when I learned about, everyone kind of assumes inflation is like just here, which is so weird. You think inflation would just be zero. Like,
And I'm, look, I'm, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, but like, I've read books on it and I've paid people who are experts on it to give me advice. So like, this isn't coming. I'm not, I'm not a
you're not
fucking,
coming out of nowhere.
and
Yeah.
I'm not just a YouTube warrior with this shit. Like I mean, that is a great resource, but it's not the only place I get my information
Right.
from.
Right.
You know?
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, dude, I'm open to the idea of Bitcoin.
Well, I specifically like it because it's the only one that's a fixed supply and like no one really controls it. That's the point. And it's kind of it's not centralized. So you can actually hold
I
these
should have
yourself.
fucking left. I bought it was like 4,000 when I bought. I should have just left it.
Bro, you would have been killing it.
Well,
Because you think
it wouldn't have been generational wealth, but it would have been a few
but you
thousand
still
bucks.
would have had you would have had a little extra to put back in whatever. Just I don't know.
All from 275 bucks. But that's the problem though, is like you can't treat it like a get rich quick scheme. And so
Of
many
course not.
people,
Yeah.
people see people getting rich quick off of it and they're like, fuck, well, me too.
Right.
And I also, and
Right. I guess my whole thing is that like I feel like it does offer like a way for you to just save what little you may have. It's not like we have a lot, but it's like if you are if you feel like you can't get ahead because they just printed 30% of the money supply in the past 4 years, which is insane.
yeah, that was nuts. all to
Bro,
give us
like no one knows that they literally during
all to give us a $1,300 check.
I mean, the whole thing's crazy, bro.
You know what? If foregoing that $1,300 check meant that we weren't in this mess, I think I would have forgone it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing
But
is,
what they don't tell you is that it wasn't just the $1,300 checks.
right.
Right? It was also all the fucking forgivable PPP loans that people really needed for their independent businesses, and then they, I mean, people are going to jail and for like buying Lamborghinis and
Well,
shit.
yeah, you saw where some of that went. Some of it, a lot of it's lost, but it's all shenanigans, man.
And you can, by the way, I don't know why I was Googling my friend to like try and find his website one time, and I saw him like come up in these like public records, and it showed how much money he borrowed
Whoa,
for a PPP loan during the pandemic.
whoa.
And then I saw like a list of other people in the area who are also musicians who also borrowed money for PPP loans, and you could see how
Oh,
much each person borrowed and had forgiven. It's kind of nuts. I'm like, fuck, you got that much money? Damn.
man.
I'm not naming any names, but yeah. But
Well, dude, I like how you like actually talk about that stuff because I feel like I've had to kind of learn a lot of that shit on my own. And
yeah, you have to.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you have,
and the reason I do it is because a lot of my following, I mean, yeah, it's musical peers like yourself, but it's also, and we're in our like 30s, but there's also a lot of like young country fans who are young enough that if I reach two or three
right,
people,
you're gonna make a difference.
then I will make a huge difference or these practices, I won't make a huge difference. These
Like you-
practices will
Right.
make a huge difference in their lives.
Which is, yeah, that's sick.
They might have a financial future, which, I mean, I'm not saying I don't have a financial future,
But I know what you mean.
but nothing compared to what I would have if I had started that early.
Right. Right. And it is a good disciplined thing to do that's pretty simple and not that crazy.
So simple, and it's just so easy to overthink. And like,
Yeah.
that comes down to another point, which is like, don't run your ideas by just anybody.
Mhm.
It's like when you're sharing new music.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you're sharing new music with people that's like not released, which first of all, I think you shouldn't really show people something until it's essentially a could be finished version of it. But if you're at like a crossroads, you don't know where to go with the track, like you're going to show that to people whose opinion you respect, right?
Mhm.
But there's this weird social pressure to be like, yeah, this is what I'm working on. And it's like, fuck, I got to show them something I'm doing. Well, I don't have anything that's done. Well, here's something that's not even done. And you show it to them. And then like suddenly you're getting an earful of opinions about your music. And you're like, this doesn't feel good. And like, who the fuck is this person? And I was just trying to show,
Right.
I was trying to impress this person. And now they're fucking giving me their opinion. Like they're my trusted guru. Like, okay, fuck you, Rick Rubin, no, like, and it's the same with these like financial ideas. Like, you got to be careful who you run this stuff by.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people will realize they haven't done that, and they'll try and make you feel like your idea is stupid because
That's happened to me actually.
yeah, people
Like, with like financial people where like I could tell that I just knew more about whatever I was talking about, and I could tell they could tell, and then in the moment you could just see them get uncomfortable, and then they just kind of shot everything down, and then they saw me see them do that, and then I was just like, bro, I can't listen to anything this guy says.
Well, it's just a bummer because I talk to people's father figures in different areas of my life, and they seem to be giving me what seems like common sense and sound advice that they lived by. And then the financial experts who I pay, and I don't have my assets under management and give them a percentage. There's this website called hellonectarine.com where you can find financial planners that you pay by the hour.
Hmm.
So I do that. And I just go to, consult them when I have a question, right? And the advice I get from these adult figures in my life, some of them who are very wealthy, but the earlier generations maybe had a little bit of an easier time amassing generational wealth, maybe a harder time with other things. Who knows?
And it's just a different era.
just a different era. Things work differently, but like they tell me like it's the fucking word of God, the exact opposite of what the person I paid told me to do.
I know.
And I'm just like, oh, interesting.
No minor one, bro.
And they're so fucking sure of themselves. And if you try to tell them this alternate perspective, they shoot you down so hard. And like, it's like almost like you're immediately being talked down to. And it's like, man, if you only knew that you're not talking down to me, because this isn't my idea, but you're talking down to somebody who's a fucking financial planner who literally does this for a living.
Right. But it does go both ways, though.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I'm just saying the opposite is true as well.
Well, I mean, I don't say any of this to talk down to them, though. I'm just trying to, but that's just it. Like you have to run it. You have to be careful who you run your ideas by.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, you got to be able to think for yourself ultimately.
And the reason I say that is, I mean, unless you have really thick skin and are really hard headed about things, like you can't. I mean, you got to be careful because then, you know, what if somebody like says something and then you get in your head and then suddenly you make a bad choice and then you set off this horrible chain of events.
Right. No,
all because you opened your mouth to the wrong person about it.
Mm-hmm. No, I see what you mean. Yeah. That's a good point.
And I'm not saying these people aren't well-meaning in most cases. They really are.
Yeah, I think they just don't realize it.
It's insane like how I've gotten advice that's in this day and age just
right.
wrong. It's just now wrong.
Right.
Like, you know.
Yeah. No, I get you.
People are all like, you know, buy a house, buy property. Well, sometimes that's a good investment and sometimes not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends.
It really depends where you're at with your finances and where you live and, you know, how much per square foot it costs to buy there versus to rent. And, you know, of course, realtors, you see them on threads arguing all the time. Like, they're so dismissive of that idea. And then other people say, oh yeah, well, thanks. This message sponsored by BlackRock. They're buying up all the property. And it's like, well, yeah, that is a big fucking issue for sure. But that doesn't, just because that's true doesn't mean this isn't also true.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So anyway.
You're cracking me up, dude. I love it. Dude.
I'm no expert, but like I do think about this and I do want other people to think about it. I want everybody to be better off with the tools that are available to them no matter what their level of income.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why I wanted to bring it up because it's like I feel like no one even talks about this shit. It's crazy.
I mean, sometimes I'll just be like, yo, just save, you know, if you just save $500 a month, $125 a week, you will max out your Roth IRA for the year. And some people be like, you know, some people will respond to me and be like, oh, not everybody has $500 a month to spare. I said, I'll just respond, hey, these things work at scale though. Like if you have $50 a month to spare, and I bet you do, man.
I bet you do.
Sorry. Like if you go out to coffee 5 times, you have, and I'm not saying don't go out to coffee 5 times.
But I get what you're saying, man. You're making decisions whether you realize it or not.
I mean, I think it just scares people to like think about this stuff because it shows them that they're really far behind and it's easier to bury your head in the sand. And it's like, well, that's an option too. I'm not saying you can't do that, but like out of like love, I just wish people wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. I appreciate that. That's why when I see it, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it's all about. And if people get upset that I'm posting this, I mean, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I'm just trying to be like, I started doing this when it was COVID and I had no money, and like you should too.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I really, because of COVID, that really forced me to kind of like focus on some of that stuff that I had been meaning to do anyways. And I started to have the time to.
I mean, I used to bury my head in the sand by just filling my schedule with gigs, and I'd just be like, fuck it, doesn't matter. I'm making money. I got a savings account. I had a horrible savings account with a dumb, terrible interest rate.
Yeah, and it's stupid. It's like just that alone can make such a big difference.
Yeah, I read this book by a man named Ramit Sethi. RAMIT. If you go on Instagram, that's his username.
Okay.
Neat. And he's, that's one page I like. Another page on Instagram I like is Personal Finance Club. But they both say, the same things. But like, Ramit has this book. It's called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich," and it's not a get rich quick scheme book. It's a money management book.
Yeah.
And like the first chapter is like, here are ways you can help negotiate a lower interest on your credit card debt so you can pay it down faster. Then it's like, okay, here are the bank accounts I recommend you use. Whatever other bank you have, you should probably ditch it because some of these banks, especially banks with brick and mortar locations, they don't offer accounts with high interest unless you have a high balance.
Right. Unless you have a bunch of money.
Yeah. Which makes sense, right? Because then you're a high value customer, which justifies the costs of running a storefront. Mm-hmm. But if some of these other banks that are mostly online only, like Ally or Capital One or Goldman Sachs, right? I mean, they have brick and mortar locations, but they're
not every city,
executive office. It's not local bank branches for people to walk into. And yeah, I mean, it does provide some inconvenience to me to not have access to cash just like that. But with Capital One, you got the Capital One cafes. Like if you need, you can get up to $10,000 in cash out in a day if you really need it. Like you just talk to a person and they make a phone call, raise your withdrawal limit, and then you can go get the cash. Like if you need to make a cash purchase larger than $10,000, then maybe you do need to like plan for that over a week and just go every day. And, because like that, I mean, believe it or not, first of all, even a normal bank branch doesn't have like hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash to just give you. I mean, that wouldn't be responsible to keep that on hand. And second of all, like that protects you. Like making it really difficult to part with all your money at once protects you. Whereas crypto exchanges, it's just fucking gone in a second. And libertarianism, man. Doesn't matter. You're free to be smart with your money or dumb with your money. Like, I didn't even know I was being dumb. This is insane. Like it should be harder than that to make a mistake with your money.
Well, and I think you're right, dude. I think that's why like some of what people want as like so-called regulation, I think that is a good thing for it because I think you are right.
Dude, I mean, imagine if fucking airlines had no regulation.
Right, of course.
I can see where people are coming from with some of the libertarianism stuff, and
I think it's both camps. Like it's somewhere in the middle,
dude. I mean, and of course, like regulatory agencies are not above being corrupted, and
right,
of people embezzling money.
Right.
I'm not invalidating any of those problems. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I agree.
Fucking oversight on these things is good. And now we have like the Newark airport, I see this meme every third day. Now it's like, it is not safe to fly into Newark. Like one of the air traffic controllers there because apparently it's like understaffed now or something. And dude, that was my go-to. I always fly into Newark because I hate the hustle from getting to and from JFK to Manhattan anytime I stay in New York. So like, I'm like, fuck, well, that's good to know, but like, I don't know. It's neither here nor there. I'm just saying a little bit of regulation goes a long way.
Honestly, man, that's what a lot of those, and I kind of specifically say Bitcoin, but like, that's what a lot of those things, a lot of that group was saying is like, we need regulation on this. We need some clarity.
The amount of money permanently lost on the blockchain is just nuts.
I mean, I don't know how much it is. You could find out.
I'm going to give you a number right now. And we'll just do Bitcoin to simplify.
I mean, but think about the amount of money lost in dollars. There's just through inflation. I mean, bro, if you just do that, that's an even bigger number.
Probably, yeah.
And that affects everyone.
3 to 4 million Bitcoins are lost forever.
Right. Okay.
Our estimate suggests that 6 million Bitcoins, or around 30% of the total supply, are lost forever.
But that just makes each individual or fraction thereof worth even more. See, that's one thing that's unique about it is unlike dollars, they can just print more money with dollars, which is what they do.
Yeah.
which creates the inflation. And then everybody's like, why is everything 20 to 30% more? It's like, guys, they just printed 20 to 30% of the entire money supply ever.
I mean, yeah, that's a mess. But it doesn't. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater
I
either.
agree. I agree.
But I agree. I mean, like if shit hits the fan, like a small amount of diversification is not the worst idea.
I mean, I don't think shit's gonna hit the fan. I think we're just entering a new era, just similar to, if you said, hey, everyone's gonna have a computer and a cell phone 20, 30 years ago, they thought you were insane.
Well, I mean, then we got like Buck Fitty, who's like buying bars of gold.
Hey, he's killing it then right now because gold's at new all-time highs.
Right? Yeah.
So that wasn't so crazy, actually.
Buck Fitty is like killing it with his tile business now, right?
Bro, I talked to him the other day. He's killing it, man. He's doing good.
Buck Fitty.
That was great on piano still, too, man.
I never thought he wasn't.
Yeah.
I never thought he wasn't good on piano. I actually like. It's funny because I had another friend who went to CalArts with me who lived up in who's from the Central Valley,
Okay.
a different part of Central Valley, and Chris would be like, "Do you know anybody up here who'd be like down to play?" And I was like, "Actually, I think I do know a guy." And then they became friends, and it was
Cool.
my friend Brendan Black.
Oh, yeah. Chris told me about it. I think I met him.
Yeah, Brendan's great, man. Well, we went to CalArts together, and then he just came back down here to get his master's. But yeah, he married this this lady who's from Ecuador, and they went down there to do teaching gigs for a while, and then they had a kid, and they moved back up to the Central Valley, and now I think he might be between there and LA. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, yeah, dude.
Hey, you're killing it, bro. I think we got to end it here, man. I got to do some stuff before tonight.
For sure. Yeah, man.
But hey, I could talk to you for hours, bro. We got to hang in real life.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. We should. Chris told me y'all did a gig again recently.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Chris sounds so good.
Yeah, we've been doing gigs up here at Bakari, man. We should like get you on one of them.
Oh, yeah. I played a couple of those with him.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, you know what? Let me know. Let's plan it out because my lady's sister lives right up over there, so we can it would be perfect to like go see them and then go play.
Have I met your lady? I
don't think so. I have to go get her. She's outside. She's my wife, man.
What's her name again?
I got married. Jesse.
No, I have met her.
Oh, you met her then?
I didn't want to say in case
you're hilarious. It's not like I had a bunch.
I just didn't want to say it in case like you guys had broken up and it was a touchy subject. But I didn't think you had. I just didn't know. Yeah,
no, it's her.
I remember Jess. That's awesome, dude. Oh, you guys are married now?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jazz, prove it.
Jazz, fucking.
Or as I tell her, I say, Jess, prove it.
Well, tell Jess I said hi, man. Okay. Well, this has been a wild podcast.
Hey, I love it, bro. Keep doing your thing. What's your Instagram? If anyone watches this, they can go follow you, see what you're up to.
It's ZEPHYR AVALON with an underscore after it because ZEPHYR AVALON underscore because somebody else took ZEPHYR AVALON and it's a dead account that's not used. Super cool.
What are the chances? Jesus.
I know. What the fuck? Maybe people like name their kids after that or name their kids ZEPHYR and AVALON or something like that.
Hey, there's like a condo or apartment complex down here in SD and it says ZEPHYR on the side. So every time I drive by it on the freeway, I always think of your ass.
Prove it, man. Gotta Jazz prove it.
I'm like, there's ZEPHYR. Look at
Dude, I'm coming down to San Diego tomorrow to do a Lucky Devils gig in Solana Beach.
What the fuck?
Are you close to Solana Beach?
Yeah. I mean, what's tomorrow? Saturday?
Yeah.
What time? Like evening, I'm guessing?
Actually, it's like early afternoon. I might hit you after the gig and see what's going on.
Just hit me up, bro. I'll cruise it.
I'll see where I'm at. I might be exhausted and want to go home, but anyways.
All right, man. Well, we'll hang soon.
Hey, bro. Yeah, let's hang, man.
I'm gonna hit you up. We'll do some of those Bakari gigs, whatever the hell it's called.
Fuck yeah, brother. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for doing this, bro. I miss you, dude.
Check the Dropbox.
I'm gonna go check the Dropbox.
Dude, I fucking miss him too, man. I hope to talk to him soon. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna call him.
text his ass right now.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
All right, peace, brother.
Later, man.